Every self-improvement guru on planet Earth tells you that it's important to read. Everyone is giving you this recommendation to read more books. And I'm going to admit, it is one of the self-improvement cliches that I don't mind being repeated over and over and over and over again because it is that important. Reading books, particularly reading the right books, can be a cheat code to life itself. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about why it's important to read, and I'm also going to share some key benefits of reading with you. Reading is an activity that has helped me build the life of my dreams, including being able to write books of my own. The knowledge that I've gained in books, combined with the experience of me implementing these suggestions, has given me the ability to impart some of this wisdom onto others. A lot of people ask me, how I've, managed to be so quote unquote wise at a young age. Well, it's because I read books. It's because I take that information and I harness it to live a better life. So I'm going to teach you some benefits of that today. But before we dive into the video, please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the little notification bell so you can get brand new videos the moment that they come out. Make sure that you are engaging with the channel, leaving your 2 cents. If you like anything, please let me know and we will continue to share ideas with each other. One of the main benefits of reading books is it helps you gain the understanding of other people and other perspectives without you having to go through the process yourself. So right here I have a book. This is a book from Frederick Douglass, The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. It talks about his life during slavery, right? And for someone to get the perspective of what it was like to be in that time so they could kind of adjust their opinions and worldviews, now they have to go back and see what has happened in the past. This book gives vivid detail and description of all sorts of things, and it helps you not only change your perspective in terms of kind of that idea of race, but just gives you the perspective of history in life and this ability to kind of absorb the experience of other people. It gives you this very well-traveled sort of nature to yourself. It gives you this sense of wisdom just because you've been able to kind of take so many different life experiences and kind of cross-reference them with each other. And what you'll see are many different patterns. So, in many different books, there are a lot of recurring themes about human nature, themes about the patterns in history. When you combine things together, you will realize how human beings are so malleable that we can end up with, some of the atrocities in the world and some of the amazing things that have happened in the world. So you need to understand all of it, the good, the bad, the light and dark sides of human nature. And reading books and really getting to see life through the eyes of other people is really good for that. So in this case, like with this book, you get a little bit of that negative experience, but then you also learn a lot about his story where he uses, learning how to read in self-improvement as a vehicle to radically change his life. In the book, he talks about the fact that one of his number one goals when he was a slave was to learn how to read. And it was also something that the slave masters were vehemently against slaves learning. I wonder why they wouldn't want slaves learning how to read, right? So, there's this saying, there's nothing more dangerous than an N-word with a book. And it's this idea that we're kept away from knowledge, and that if a lot of people were able to gain access to the knowledge in these books, we'd be able to see all of these different perspectives, and it would change our worldview, thus kind of giving us that ability to improve. Another good thing about books is that they're just amazing how-to in-depth resources that you can use to change all sorts of things in your life. So here I got Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is a book that deeply shaped my relationship with money and helped me learn how to create assets and build wealth. I have a book here about learning how to sell books. So this is a book by a successful author and owner of a publishing company, Tim Grahl, and he talks about how to sell your first 1,000 copies of a book. So I bought this book and I sold 1,000 copies of my book, and actually many, many more than 1,000 copies of the book, because he gave valuable information. I implemented it, and turns out it worked. Let's see what else I got here. I have this book, TED Talk book. So this is a book from the creator of TED, teaching you how to give TED Talks. Lo and behold, I gave a TED Talk, and it was a successful TED Talk, and I had resources there to help me do that. Another personal finance book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. This is by Ramit Sethi, and he's a personal finance expert. So again, getting information that I can kind of download directly into my brain and trust in the advice of an expert instead of having to figure out everything on my own. Impossible to Ignore. Here's another book about writing captivating messages, about persuading people. A lot of people tell me that my articles are very persuasive and that I'm able to kind of get inside of people's heads and figure out what they want and kind of relay it back to them. Where did you think I learned how to do that? I have taken time to read persuasion books, read marketing books, read psychology books, so that I can understand this how-to information, how to persuade people, how to get into the underpinnings of their mind, how to move people to action. All these answers to so many different arenas in life are found in books. And this how-to information is valuable, extremely valuable. And, people, we basically operate in society with this idea of helplessness. We'll say things like, oh, the 1%, they're the ones who have all the access to money information. They're the ones who know how to do stocks. I don't know how to do stocks. I don't know how to do real estate. I don't know how to create wealth. When there are thousands upon thousands of books on how to trade stocks, on how to build wealth, on how to do real estate, on how to start a business, on how to start a writing career, on how to do literally anything. And, I like books as a preferred format because you really kind of build that relationship by going deep into, taking time out of your day to read, which is something that people really don't do all that much. But, you can still, YouTube videos are great. Blogs are great, but the general sentiment is that there's information that can help you change your life. And you have the biographical stuff that I talked about earlier, where you can kind of download the experiences of others. But there are also books that are teaching you verbatim how to do something. Verbatim, step-by-step guides. We're in this world where everyone's acting like they can't get ahead and succeed, but there's literally answers right in front of your face. But, I kind of make this joke. It's like the secrets of how to be successful in the world, they're all hidden in those books. They're all hidden in those books. And, reading books, it can be a little arduous. You might have to sit down for a couple hours and sit in silence and read some words on a page instead of watching TV or getting dopamine spikes from your casino machine iPhone, right? So it does take a little bit of patience, but this how-to information is how you get ahead when the blueprint is really laid out for you. And the last benefit of reading books that I'll leave you with is the idea that, every once in a while you'll come across a book that will profoundly change the way that you see the world. And if you find the right book, it could really shift your life in an entirely new direction. So this is a book, and basically in all my videos where I talk about books, I talk about Anti-Fragile and other books by Nassim Taleb. And his series of books just, it flipped the world, the way that I saw the world, entirely on its head. Provided these counterintuitive answers that I just couldn't see coming. And really, I haven't been the same since I've read these books. I've read these series of books, 2 to 3 times each book in the series. And they've really helped form the blueprint for how I live my life. I've used a lot of Mr. Taleb's ideas in my own work, as you've heard me reference him before, and you'll see it come through in a lot of the concepts. His idea of convexity, which is the property of looking for areas of growth, but areas that have limited downside, that whole philosophy has helped me do everything I'm doing today, as far as making money, as far as picking careers that have an infinite upside, and the downside is just nobody views my work. So I learned that from Taleb. The idea of randomness and luck, and how all the answers aren't so straightforward, which teaches you to not blame yourself too much when you fail, and also not pat your back too much when you succeed, falling under the mistake that you have that golden touch. So this is just a variety of the many lessons that I learned from these books, and they're just so heavily imprinted in my brain at this point that maybe I should spend an entire video talking about them. But you will come across these books. Rich Dad Poor Dad is another book that was one of those life-changing books for me. They're called quake books because they kind of set off a little mini earthquake in your mind, right? So there's certain people who they just have such a unique perspective, or their ideas are so good, or they just have one little nugget from the book that could shift your life in a new direction. And that's really the goal of reading books in general is you're not gonna, every single book you read isn't gonna knock your socks off. But there will be a handful of books when you read and you quite literally won't be the same after them. So my entire career has been kind of the process of reading all these different books, and a handful of them have really helped shape my worldview and have given me the tools that I've needed to navigate life and navigate it successfully. These books have helped me see things before they happen. They have given me predictive ability. They have given me the ability to adapt, think on my feet, make money, make connections, build an audience, build a tribe, build a movement, and kind of construct my life pretty much exactly the way that I see fit. So I do think that the value of books is extremely important. And these 3 benefits I've just given you could be on a list of 100 benefits of reading books. So please make a commitment to read books every single day, even if it's just 10 pages or a half an hour. And I guarantee you, if you actually implement the information in those books, your life will change. Okay, I'd be remiss in not mentioning my own book in a video where I talk about books. Real Help, An Honest Guide to Self-Improvement is a book that will change your life. A lot of people ask for my book recommendations. Read my book, which is the culmination of everything I've learned from those other books, and mixed with my personal experience of over a half decade of studying life, teaching life to others, and using it to become successful. So check that out in the description. Even if you are not someone who loves to read, you can still download the audiobook and get those auditory lessons downloaded into your brain. The next thing I want you to do is go in the description below. You'll see a link to a free checklist, and that is going to teach you how to find your natural talents and strengths and build profitable skills that you can use to build a project or life path of your own. And then lastly, make sure to like the video, hit the thumbs up, smash the like button if you found this video useful, leave a comment, let me know your 2 cents, let me know what video ideas you want me to share next. Make sure that you subscribe to the video, hit the little notification bell so you can get brand new videos when they come out. There should be some videos popping up in front of your face right now. Make sure to go check those out, and I will see you on the next video.